Attention over here, please. Hey, everybody. Thank you. I grew it for you. Is everybody like appropriately a little sloshed now too? You're like free alcohol, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming to Play NYC 2022. So this is our 6th one. It would not be possible without everybody in this room, so please give yourselves a round of applause. It's so nice to come back here year after year and see you and your games just get better and better and better. So it's really a privilege for me and the Playcrafting team to do this, so thank you. You might have seen this week that I announced this is going to be my last month full-time at Playcrafting. I'll still be here, don't worry. I will still be involved. I'm going to be the chair of our advisory board, but Playcrafting will be in the very capable hands of Christy, Brad, wave over there, JC. Many of you have not met Brad before, but Brad is the guy who started the meetup group in 2009 that we have since turned into Playcrafting. So he's going to be a great ally for everyone moving forward. And I will still be involved, like I said, on our advisory board. So you can still reach out to me at dan@playcrafting.com. Don't worry. I did want to say, though, that I absolutely owe my career to the developers in this room right now. Like, my career and Playcrafting itself would be absolutely nothing without independent game developers in New York City specifically. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean it. Thank you. We have so many people to thank that made tonight possible. Thank you to the Playcrafting staff, Christy, Brad, JC, our technical director, Evan, who could not be here tonight, but our on-site technical director, Adriana, who you all interacted with a lot today. Our volunteers, please give it up for our volunteers. They commit to being here for 12 straight hours just because they love games and they love the people who make them. So thank you to our volunteers. Our sponsors who make this entire thing possible as well. I want to give a huge shout out to Rockstar Games. If you're from Rockstar Games, raise your hand. We have like 15 Rockstar Games people here tonight. If you didn't know, Rockstar sponsors and partners with us on our Graffiti Games initiative. We've had this program since the beginning. We find 4 developers from diverse backgrounds from across the country and in New York, and we empower them with mentorship directly from the Rockstar Games dev team. They receive a financial stipend, and they literally work for 3 months to build exclusive games that debut here at Play NYC. So if you didn't get a chance to check them out, they will be posted online. This year's theme was a cultural voyage, so each of those games is about them and their background, so definitely take the time to check those out. Also want to say a huge thank you to Red Bull and Niantic. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Both sponsoring booths, and of course, Red Bull showing up with some Red Bull and some also like cool furniture and whatnot. And finally, a huge thank you to the New York City Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. So, yes, round of applause. In the past few years, the Mayor's Office has become more and more of an ally in helping grow the games industry and supporting developers in the 5 boroughs specifically. They're a huge partner of Playcrafting and of Play NYC. They sponsor booths each year for folks that might not be able to afford it. So thank you to the Mayor's Office for being a huge part of Play NYC for the 3rd year in a row. And with that being said, I'm super excited to introduce Ann Del Castillo. She is the commissioner for the Mayor's Office for Media and Entertainment. So give it up for Ann.
Thank you, Dan. I am really thrilled to be here on behalf of the Mayor's Office with my colleague Aaliyah Jones-Harvey, who has been leading our games portfolio for the last, there she is, for the last 3 years. It's been an absolute thrill to work with Playcrafting for the last 3 years. I'll admit it is a little bittersweet that the one that I finally get to come to is your last one, but I guess if I'm going to come to one, that's the right one to be at. I also, before I get into all of that, I did want to thank the game developers and players who joined us today. I actually had quite a bit of fun myself, hanging out with my son, who was like, don't call me out, but I'm going to. So we were playing, and it was a great time. My involvement in games has definitely increased my credibility with my tweet team. Dan, you and your team at Playcrafting have really been at the forefront, pioneers in support of indie game developers here in New York City. And we at the Mayor's Office just really can't thank you enough for your vision, your foresight, your tenacity, your hard work in making Playcrafting and the Play NYC Expo such a successful developmental driver of game development, the game development ecosystem here in New York City. And so I just want to thank you, and I'm not going to say goodbye because I know you are going to be in this orbit somewhere doing some amazing things, but I really just want to take this opportunity to thank you especially for all of the work that you've done. Yes. For those of you who may not be familiar with the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, you might remember that we started out as the film office. And so in the last 6 years, our portfolio has actually expanded to include sectors beyond film and television, theater, music, advertising, publishing, and of course, digital media, which includes AR/VR and digital games. Our office is comprised of 5 divisions. We have the film office, which you know, made in New York there, NYC Media, which is the city's municipal broadcast radio and television station, creative sector programs to support all of those sectors that I just named, really in the form of education, workforce, and industry development so that we can strengthen the creative sectors here in New York City, because that's what makes us so amazing as a city. We also have the Office of Nightlife, and then just recently we expanded to include the Press Credentials Office. So it is a much, much bigger office than you may have known it to be when it was the film office. I think it's really important that we have embraced all of these sectors under our office. New York City's creative sectors generate $150 billion for the city in economic activity and close to 500,000 jobs. It's a big, But again, more importantly, beyond the numbers, they define New York City as a global creative capital. Our office is one that doesn't exist in many cities across the country, and I point that out because it's important to acknowledge that New York City really does value our creative industries, and we really do understand the critical role that digital media plays in our local economy. I think we've seen that evolve in the course of the last 5 years. Just this past year, New York State announced their digital game development tax credit, which is intended to grow this digital games industry. It's a $25 million tax credit, and I believe the applications are going to open in January. So if you're not aware of that, I'm pretty sure everyone in this room should be. I don't know if you remember, so one of the things that we wanted to do for New York City in particular, that's the state, but for New York, we really wanted to map this sector. And so last year, we released an economic report on the digital games industry. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to take a look at it. It shows that digital games in New York City alone accounted for $2 billion in economic output. And so we see a tremendous, in 2020, in the pandemic year. And so I think we see tremendous opportunities for growth there, and we've started to make inroads in that space. This past summer, we made my office made a $2 million investment in the first public bachelor's degree program in game design at City College with the Pathways program, yes. And part of that is a Pathways program that's going to bring game design classes to 15 public high schools in Upper Manhattan and the Bronx. Convened the first ever Digital Games Industry Council at City Hall to inform, and we're going to be looking to this council. This council is comprised of a really diverse representation of this industry. AAA, corporate, indies, educational organizations, trade organizations, and we plan on working with them closely. We're hosting them in City Hall because we really want to make sure that they understand, that you understand, that we want to work with you in growing this industry. And we can't do it alone. We need to understand what the needs are, how do we keep you here, how do we keep you growing, how do we build workforce for you. And then finally, support for conferences and festivals like this. For both developers, for players, everyone that is a stakeholder in the city. We want to continue to support these conferences. It sends, beyond creating just a forum for the folks in the room, it sends a really clear message to the rest of the world that New York City views games as a really important space to claim for New York City. Yes? We've doubled down on that by extending the Made in New York logo. I usually have it on, we don't have it on, to digital games. What that means is if you are making games in New York City, there's a whole bunch of legal criteria that you have to fulfill, but I'm pretty sure the majority of people in this office, thank you, yes, you can. But you can put that on your game and tell the world that, yeah, I am a Made in New York game developer designer. So, and then to expand on that, in 2023, we're actually going to be launching a marketing credit program so that when you are releasing a new game and have distribution and want to tell the world that I made this and you should buy it and you should play it, we're going to be providing free advertising for you. There's a whole bunch of regulations around that, but I don't expect anyone in this room to remember any of what I just said, other than our website, okay? It's nyc.gov/MOME. You'll find information about the program, all of the initiatives I just mentioned for digital games, and a way to reach out to us. And we want to hear from you. This is a primary focus. It's in the mayor's blueprint that he announced in February. That's a big deal. Like, some people are like, what is that? But it's actually a really big deal when the city of New York says, this is a space that we want to develop and grow. We want to recruit businesses. We want to keep the businesses that started here, growing here, for many years to come. So I want to thank all of you for what you're doing, because none of this is possible without your input, without the incredible work that you're doing. We want to continue to work with you. And I'm going to close by queuing up a video so that you can see a number of the amazing companies that we are proud to call Made in New York. Thank you.
I have 2 bottles.
Yeah! Oh my god!
Players compete in improv challenges, and at the end of each round, one gets a box, which means punishment or penalty in Japanese.
Go again. All right. Well, one more thing before we go. The bar will be open until 9 p.m. Very important. One nice little send-off we're going to do at 8:15 right here for those who want to participate. You saw Batsu on the screen. That's based on a really cool live game dining experience in the Lower East Side here in Manhattan. They're going to come up here and do like a live performance / game of Batsu with the gong and everything. So if you want to be here for that, be right over here at 8:15. Otherwise, keep drinking, keep talking, and please keep making games. Thank you, everybody.